Yo, hip hop heist, man. Damn. Alabama set to execute inmate by nitrogen hypoxia. Whoa. We gotta look that up. So let me look this up real quick and then we about to get into this video because what is nitrogen hypoxia? So it says a death row inmate in Alabama is scheduled to be executed Thursday by nitrogen hypoxia, a controversial and untested method that has prompted legal pushback and public scrutiny from critics within the United States and abroad. Kenneth Eugene Smith. Um, so yeah, this dude killed a pastor's wife in 1988. It was a murder for hire scheme and has been in prison for decades in Alabama. He already survived a botched lethal injection in November 2022. Wow, that's crazy. It's kind of crazy that they kill him like 30, 40 years after their crime. That's got to be because they make money every day they're in prison, I believe, right? Like the government or the prisons get funded every day there's a criminal in their custody. Is that how that works? Incarcerated? Because why did they kill him 40 years later? Maybe they give him a chance to, appeal and all that. I don't know. That is a good question, though. I'm very curious. But, yeah, so, and okay, it says murder for hire. He killed the pastor's wife, but the pastor hired him to kill her. Why isn't the pastor being put to death as well? That's kind of crazy. And it's while he survived a botched lethal injection, one of four in Alabama since 2018, which was the same year the state authorized the use of nitrogen hypoxia in the death chamber. Oh yeah, it's a gas. Obviously, it is among three states, along with Oklahoma and Mississippi, that technically permit the method as an alternative in the death chamber, since lethal injections in recent years have become harder to get. All right, so let's get into it. It says, what is nitrogen hypoxia? Nitrogen hypoxia is a process where pure nitrogen gas or nitrogen gas at concentrations high enough to be lethal is inhaled to the point of causing asphyxiation. It is a relatively new alternative to more common forms of capital punishment like lethal injection and electrocution. Asphyxiation, so yeah, you're gonna choke on you're gonna be choking, right? Choke on your vomit. That's crazy. Which are two methods used prevalently across the U.S. I'm burnt. Got that new indica. That's why. Yeah, man, that's kind of crazy. I mean, is it really though? I guess I throw around that crazy word too much a little bit, but I would say nitrogen hypoxia. That's a gas. So yeah, there's probably a little bit of torture, but again, what did they killed somebody? So you get what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe they deserve it. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, that's God to. I guess you can't play God. Yeah, like who? Oh, because we pay these people there, and because we elect these people, maybe these people that the executioner, the prison. No, we don't elect them. I don't think they just become that job. Like, so how can they say when somebody has? That's crazy. It's crazy, bro. All the justice system is all wild because who's to say what is what? The nonprofit organization noted that lethal gas is authorized broadly as an execution method in 7 states, including Alabama, Mississippi, and Oklahoma. Although only those three have specified the use of nitrogen for this purpose, and only Alabama has released a formal execution protocol for nitrogen hypoxia. The protocol was issued last August. The version made available to the public is heavily redacted. Let me stop this video real quick. Breathing nitrogen through a mask could, in theory, cause a person to lose consciousness before oxygen deprivation leads to death, and Alabama officials have insisted that this is most likely how the scheduled execution will happen. But Smith's legal team, while seeking an injunction to halt the execution plans that was ultimately rejected, accused the state of using him as a test subject for a lethal experiment. And the United Nations Human Rights Office called on Alabama to stop the execution, noting there is no scientific evidence to prove that by execution by nitrogen inhalation will not cause grave suffering. I mean, who gives a fuck? You're killing them, right? I don't know. Like, why is that, if you're killing them, why does that even matter? Because if you feel like you have the judgment to be able to make that choice, make that decision on somebody's life because of what they've done in their life, right? Why does it matter if they're being tortured or not? You get what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like in the eyes of the justice system, the judicial system, like what does it matter? What does it matter? I'm saying like I'm saying to the judicial system, like I guess that might just be like a selling point of capital punishment, right? Like where we're gonna tell the people like, okay, to keep killing these murderers, right? We're gonna tell the people like for all the protesters of the capital punishment like this, right? For all those protesters, we gotta like as the government or as the executioner, we gotta silence them somehow. So we'll just tell them, well, they're not suffering, right? They're not suffering. So, but they have to die because they did this crime. Like I don't know. You know, that just doesn't make sense. It's like, well, they're not suffering, so it's okay. We'll make up the scientific, reason as to why they're not gonna suffer before they die, just so we can, like, that's a selling point. That's crazy. Well, at least they're not suffering. Like, that's wild. But I mean, I'm not condoning any kind of any. I'm not condoning any of it. I don't know. I'm not. I don't think you should be killing people though. I do know every species kills. Think about that. Every other species kills something. You feel me? So, but let's check it out. What do we know about inhaling nitrogen gas? During the execution, officials said Smith will be strapped to a gurney chamber and forced to breathe nitrogen through a gas mask until his body is depleted entirely of oxygen and shuts down. Although it has never been used before inside the death chamber, the consequences of too much nitrogen inhalation, usually accidentally in industrial settings, are well documented. Nitrogen exits organically in the atmosphere and actually composes around 75% of the air that humans and animals breathe every day. But the colorless and odorless gas is only safe to inhale while it is mixed with an appropriate concentration of oxygen. Otherwise, breathing it in is toxic. Veterinarians have refused to use nitrogen asphyxiation to euthanize animals because of its distressing effects and potential risk to people around. Commercially and industrially, pure nitrogen is used in products like fertilizer, nylon, and various dyes, as well as explosives, because nitrogen displaces oxygen. It is often used at chemical plants and manufacturing facilities to shield certain equipment from contaminants, including oxygen, which could damage the equipment in some cases, even pose fire hazards or cause explosions. Liquid nitrogen is also used in laboratories and medical settings for flash freezing and other purposes. That's crazy. It's wild how chemicals and all these elements, right, of the periodic table and whatever all these elements that make up, like just 1% off of a measurement of each of those elements, we'd have a whole fucking it'd be Armageddon or whatever, everything on fire. Like, that's crazy. 75% of air is nitrogen, but yeah, if it's not mixed with the right amount of oxygen, we die. You get what I'm saying? That's crazy. So check them little meters in your houses. I guess this is what they saying. You feel me? The U.S. Chemical Safety Board issued a series of bulletins in the early 2000s that reviewed cases of nitrogen asphyxiations over the previous decade with the aim of raising awareness and relaying proper safety protocols to prevent such situations from happening. In one bulletin that references information from the Compressed Gas Association, the board notes that when enough nitrogen is introduced to deplete oxygen in the air to less than 10%, effects on the human body can be lethal, potentially causing inability to move, loss of consciousness, convulsions, and death. Wow, that's crazy. So it just takes you out, like, with a quickness, too. Even partial oxygen displacement can have serious consequences. Research has shown that when oxygen levels in the air are down to around 12.5%, humans can experience impaired respiration that may cause permanent heart damage, along with nausea, vomiting, and very poor judgment and coordination. How will the execution work? The mask the state will place over Smith's face is a NOISH-approved Type C full-face piece supplied air respirator, which is a type of mask sometimes used by industrial workers to get their life-saving oxygen. Wow, that's cool, man. After the nitrogen gas is introduced, it will be administered for 15 minutes or 5 minutes following a flatline indication on the EKG, whichever is longer. Reads a portion of Alabama's protocol for execution by nitrogen hypoxia, most redacted portion. So they're going to put a mask that they save lives with. You see how the duality of everything is? Like, the blessing is the curse. It's just at a different time. You get what I'm saying? But time is all the same. It's just one big second. You get what I'm saying? Time is one in one octave, right? In one note. So what they bless people with by saving lives with the mask, with the oxygen. Football players, you see them, soccer players, they're on the sidelines getting their oxygen, right? They got the whole thing with the nose coming down, with the hose, with the oxygen. And then but this way, that ain't oxygen they're pumping in. They pumping in nitrogen. Oh, can't breathe. That's crazy. Death. die. For sure, there's torture and all of that. But again, it's how do you feel about the whole thing? Are we allowed to cast that judgment on people as a society? It's crazy. To where I think because you did this, now you gotta die. I mean, that's the only way you get them off the streets. Let's be real. Because if there wasn't a justice system, would there be crime? Hmm, that's a good question. Um, Alabama's protocol does not allow. Yo, what's up with Cuz right here? Who is Cuz? He seems happy though. So Medicare giving free implants. Dental implants are now free with Medicare. That's crazy. Alabama's protocol does not allow a spiritual advisor in the chamber unless they review the sign and spiritual advisor nitrogen hypoxia acknowledgement form ahead of time. The restriction formed the basis for a lawsuit filed by Rev. Drew, spiritual advisors to death row inmates challenging the use of nitrogen hypoxia in execution. Unless they review and sign the spiritual advisor nitrogen hypoxia. Wow. Hood told CBS News last month that the methods prevent him from doing his job properly because agreeing to support a condemned person through this type of execution could potentially put his own health in danger. He also said the rule in and of itself going against a Supreme Court decision in March 2022 that requires states to allow spiritual advisors to be present with condemned inmates in their final moments. That's interesting, man. Is that it? That's it. Um, Shout out Emily May Zachor. She's a reporter and news editor at CBS News. She covers breaking news, often focusing on crime and extreme weather. Emily May has previously written for outlets including Los Angeles Times, BuzzFeed, and Newsweek. All right, cool. Shout out to Emily for letting us cite this, and for creating this article. Straight up. Yeah, Emily May Zachor, Czachor. And yeah, man, let me know in the comments what you think about that. What's going on with the Alabama execution of Kenneth Eugene Smith with nitrogen hypoxia? I mean, it's pretty much like the Holocaust, right? However, this dude, okay, it's not like the Holocaust. The way I'm saying it is that it's like the way they killed them in the gas chamber. It's gas, because the Jews didn't do anything wrong. You feel me? So, but this guy, he did definitely kill somebody. Um, so yeah, man, let me know in the comments. Very interesting topic, hip hop heist. And that's it. No more ums. That's all. Peace.